Hello everyone, welcome to my video. My name is Nikhila. I'm back with another book for children. But before I get into that, I want to give you a brief overview of why children's books are important, why reading to them is so important. AAP, which is American Academy of Pediatrics, published a journal in 2014 that found that reading proficiency by third grade, is by far the strongest indicator of the child's academic and career success later in their life. In addition to that, the journal also said it's not just the vocabulary that is benefited by reading to them, but also reading books to children facilitates that or builds that parent-child relationship, parent-child bond that I think we all have experienced when we read a book to a child. Um, and then some of you might have heard of this nonprofit Reach Out and Read, which was started by a pediatrician, Dr. Perry Class. And I want to read a quick 4 lines from her interview where she says, this is what she says. When I started with Reach Out and Read years ago, efforts were focused on early literacy and school readiness. So that's where they started. Although those are still tremendously important, the bigger picture now is to help parents build interactions with their children into everyday lives, because this can create nurturing relationships, which can then promote early brain development, early literacy, language development, and school readiness. Um, the factors that she mentions, I cannot think of anything more important than them for children that age, when we're talking about children under the age of 6. So that's my goal in creating these videos. Obviously, holding a book in your hand and reading it to your child is the best thing, but I believe reading even from a device to the child is the next best thing you can do, and that's my goal in creating these videos. I hope you enjoy them. Please do leave your feedback in the comments. Thank you. This is the story of a little red hen. Well, have you ever seen a little red hen in your life? I have. When I was a child, our neighbors used to have a little red hen that would always chase me. That's the first thing I remember whenever I read this book. Well, let's go. Let's see what happens in this book. A little red hen lived in a barnyard. She spent almost all of her time walking about the barnyard in her pickety-peckety fashion, scratching everywhere for worms. Did you know that hens eat worms? This hen, that's what she did all day. She would just look for worms, digging the ground, digging the earth, looking for worms all day, because that's what she used to do. A cat usually napped lazily in the barn door, not even bothering herself to scare the rat who ran here and there as he pleased. And as for the pig who lived in the sty, he did not care what happened so long as he could eat and grow fat. There were other animals in the barnyard, a cat and a rat and a pig. But they didn't do much all day. They would just lazily lie around, eat and just lie around. They did nothing else. One day, the little red hen found a seed. It was a wheat seed, and she knew she had to plant it. The hen, who was used to seeing bugs and worms, suddenly found a grain of wheat one day. Now, she knew she had to plant it because she knew that seed, if planted in the ground, would become plant and would give more wheat. So she was excited and she knew she had to plant it. She called loudly, "Who will plant the seed?" So she asked her friends in the barn, "Well, will anybody help me?" But the pig said, "Not I." And the cat said, "Not I." And the rat said, "Not I." There we go. All her friends said, "No, we don't want to help you. We don't want to work hard." "Well then," said the little red hen, "I will." And she did. And there you can see that she's digging up some ground, some earth, and putting the seed inside the soil so that it would become a plant. Then she went on with her daily duties through the long summer days, scratching for worms and feeding her chicks, while the pig grew fat and the cat grew fat and the rat grew fat, and the wheat grew tall and ready for harvest. So everything was just the same, but the wheat seed grew into a plant over a few days. So one day the little red hen chanced to notice how large the wheat was, and that the grain was ripe. So she ran about calling briskly, "Who will cut the wheat?" The pig said, "Not I." The cat said, "Not I." And the rat said, "Not I." "Well then," said the little red hen, "I will." And she did. She cut the wheat from the plant. And again her friends refused to help her. And now it was time to thresh the wheat. So thresh is, you see how she has this in her nose, in her beak. Thresh is to separate the seeds, the grain from this. And she needed help to do that. And again she asked her friends, "Who will thresh the wheat?" But the pig with a grunt said, "Not I." And the cat with a meow said, "Not I." And the rat with a squeak said, "Not I." So the little red hen, looking, it must be admitted, rather discouraged, said, "Well, I will then." And she did. This time she felt a little discouraged. She was a little disappointed that her friends didn't want to help her. And she did it again. She threshed the wheat, which is to separate the seeds from this. And she did. Then she called out, "Who will carry the wheat to the mill to be ground?" Turning their backs with snippy glee, that pig said, "Not I." And that cat said, "Not I." And that rat said, "Not I." So the good little red hen could do nothing but say, "I will then." And she did. And she took the wheat seeds, the grains, to be ground into powder. So she took it to the mill all by herself. Her friends again refused to help her. The next morning, the little red hen hunted up the pig, the cat, and the rat. Still confident that they would surely help her some day, she sang out, "Who will make the bread?" Well, again, all the three animals said, "Not I." And again, the little red hen did all the hard work. She made the bread. There we go. There you see, little red hen is making bread all by herself while cat and rat are watching. At last, the great moment arrived. A delicious odor was wafted upon the autumn breeze. Although she appeared to be perfectly calm, in reality she could only with difficulty restrain an impulse to dance and sing, for had she not done all the work on this wonderful bread? Odor means smell, and she could smell bread, and she was so excited. All her hard work over all the days finally paid off, and she was ready to eat the bread. She was very happy. The little red hen called, "Who will eat the bread?" All the animals in the barnyard were watching hungrily and smacking their lips in anticipation. And the pig said, "I will." The cat said, "I will." The rat said, "I will." Well, when the bread was ready, of course, all the animals were ready to eat this time. They said, "We will do it. We will eat." But the little red hen said, what do you think the hen said? What do you think she said? "No, you won't. I will." And she did. She did not give it to her friends who did not help her all the times that she asked for help. So, what do we learn from this? It's even though it might seem like hard work, it's better to work hard today so you can reap the benefits of it tomorrow. The end.